Let's first, though, draw a distinction between money and currency.
Okay.
Currency is a subset of money.
Mm-hmm.
Currency is something that's issued by governments or some kind of central authority. Money can be more than just banknotes, right? And currency, banknotes and coins. Money can be things that you put your hard work into, whether it be real estate, whether it be stocks, bonds, collectibles, etc. That can be money. Those are things that are stores of value over time. It could also be gold.
Right.
Right. It could be seashells. It could be cigarettes.
Right. So, for instance, in jail, we might trade cigarettes for other things where there is actually no money. Somebody might say that the cigarette is worth $1, but you wouldn't have to. You could say this thing over here is worth 3 cigarettes without ever having a sign, $1 value. Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, a cigarette becomes the unit of account.
Right.
Outside a jail, your government's currency is the unit of account. We're used to thinking in terms of US dollars,
Right.
not in terms of how much cigarettes it costs to buy a house.
Exactly.
Right. So one of the challenges, though, with currency is that it loses its purchasing power over time.
Mm-hmm.
And this provocative slide here from Dante Cook says, would the dollar collapse without Bitcoin? The answer is yes. It's losing its purchasing power over time. Right? Lost something like 90-some% of its purchasing power over the last, 100 years or whatever the number is.
And even that is a construct.
Yeah.
Because you could just put a multiplier on it or divide it, whichever way you want to look at it, which some countries have done over centuries, and say, okay, $1 now is worth 10 times what it was yesterday, just because we say it is. It's the new dollar, as they call it, or in Mexico.
And that's a bit like doing a stock split. You're not really creating anything of value. You're just changing the unit of denomination.
But even this devaluation would still be a construct because it's really has to be in terms of something else.
Yeah. Yep. So what we're talking about then is if we start from the top left, people are putting their economic energy into work, and in return for that, they're getting money. Okay, but the problem is the money they receive is losing value over time. It buys less and less, whether it's, number of hamburgers or number of whatever. Right? It requires more and more dollars to buy those items. That's inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And the flip side of that is the purchasing power of the money is less and less over time. So what people are forced to do if they want to preserve the purchasing power of their money is to invest it in places where they can hopefully preserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, that's been real estate, that's in stocks, it's precious metals like gold and other precious metals. It's bonds, fine art, other collectibles.
Right.
These are all tried and true methods of trying to preserve purchasing power of money.
And stocks would be what do you want to call it? It would be a positionally like a business. So it might be your own business. It may not be a business that has stock, but it could be a partnership, et cetera. But
that's right.
It's a business as opposed to stocks. Yeah.
Private or public companies would fit in that category. Yes. Yeah. Good point. Thank you. Now, we also must understand that when you think of money, there's different traits of money, right? And so this is a table that highlights some of those, and it compares gold versus the dollar versus Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So is it fungible? Is it interchangeable? Gold is. A gold bar is pretty much a gold bar. If it's pure enough, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the dollar, same with Bitcoin. So that's all great. They meet that standard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it non-consumable? We're not talking about wheat that's consumable, right? That has a shelf life. We're talking about something that can stick around a long time. All three meet that standard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it portable? Well, gold's kind of heavy, right? It's a little hard to walk out with, several $1 million of gold in your pocket. It's going to get heavy and it's going to get expensive to transport. And also you have to pay to secure it.
And vice versa in order to have, I guess this is not really the portability issue, but a normal amount of gold would be very small to carry around.
Yes.
Difficult to carry and maintain, except
Yep.
maybe on a ring or something.
Sure. Yep. No, it's fine for small amounts. It's difficult for large amounts. So anyway, you can go down the list. It's durable, highly divisible. Then you get into some of the areas where gold and the dollar are inferior to something like Bitcoin.
Mhm.
So is gold easily transactable? Well, no, not really, because it's hard to go to a restaurant and shave off a part of a gold bar
Right.
or send a part of a gold bar around the world instantly. You can't do that, right? That's much easier with something that's like the dollar or Bitcoin, which is purely digital. Scarce. Gold is pretty scarce, but the problem is they do mine more, right? And it's my understanding the Chinese may have discovered some massive new gold deposit. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, then gold is not as scarce as we thought it was.
They're also finding new ways to mine it so that they're going
Oh,
back into the California gold mines and starting to find new ways to get it out inexpensively enough to make it worth it.
that's right. Right. And certainly the dollar is not scarce. They just print more all the time. Okay. Um, is it sovereign? Is it government issued? Gold? No. Although countries may control the mining of it.
Mhm.
The US dollar is government controlled and Bitcoin is not. And that's a positive in many respects. Um, is it decentralized? Bitcoin is highly decentralized. The others are not. And is it smart? Bitcoin is actually a programmable currency or a programmable form of money. So anyway, this some different traits of money. Some of them are favorable, but for Bitcoin, it's highly favorable really across the board. Okay. And you could add real estate to this list. You could add, art and jewelry and that kind of thing to this list and compare it across.
Sure, sure.
And what you'll see is that Bitcoin is sort of superior in pretty much all regards to other stores of value.
The one I'll take just again, I don't want to, make this into a 3-hour thing by debating little things, but on the scarcity issue, I would say that governments that issue fiat currency do tend to want to make their fiat currency scarce. They generally are not looking to print
Correct.
bunches and bunches more because they recognize most governments, most leaders will recognize that fiat currency, in order to be valuable, needs to have a scarcity.
Yeah.
And most citizens would tend to believe or trust that fiat currency will be scarce in the future.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that trust has often been misplaced,
Of course, yes, yes.
right? There's many places where you can say, well, there's runaway inflation, whether it's Venezuela, Argentina, Zimbabwe, Lebanon, you name it. Turkey, for example, in recent years. So, I think you're right. Governments don't want to print too much, but sometimes they're forced to.
If you happen to be a big fan of the Cybertruck, you might also be interested in this super fun Cybertruck refrigerator magnet and bottle opener. It is made out of super thick stainless steel, just like the Cybertruck, and it has this giant magnet on the back, so it's going to hold a lot of stuff on your refrigerator. It's an amazing gift, and it comes in that great gift box that you saw before that uses a magnet opener, just almost like an Apple box, like when you get Apple products. You can buy it on Amazon for $29.95, or you can buy it direct from me by sending $25 to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. Please indicate whether you want the stainless steel look or maybe you'd like to have this very clever camo version. And then if you're not in the US, please add $20 for freight. If you'd like more than one, please check the information below to get pricing, as well as all that information I just told you will be repeated in the information below. So once again, think about joining the channel, getting the up-to-date Tesla news every single day. I think you'll be glad you did.